Postmodernism is a mood much more than it is a kind of an organized movement. Postmodernism was at the Garden of Eden when Adam and Eve said, "Has God really said?" What did postmodernism do? It questioned propositional truth. Does a statement really mean what it says, or do you fuse your own meaning into any statement? So postmodernism questioned verbal authority. That's where it all began. You don't leave the authority with the author, the authority goes to the reader. So you can read a book and you become sovereign over the author. That's exactly what happened at the Garden of Eden. They wanted to play as God. So postmodernism is actually quite pre-ancient. It goes back, and now it's come in a sophisticated dress with deconstruction and all of this that came in poetry and literature. Postmodernism is a mixed bag. There are some very dangerous elements to it where absolute truth became conditioned and relativism took hold, but you really don't want a relativist in the lab. You don't want a relativist for a pilot. You don't want to say, I know that's what the tower is saying, and I know this is what the instruments are saying, but I'm going to fuse my own meaning into these readings. So life cannot be lived on the postmodern cutting edge. I'll tell you a little funny story because the subject is a bit intense. So let me tell you a humorous story talking about languages. And we'll play off a little bit of English language out here. But this fellow was being taught English, and he was from another language group. And so he was trying to use these fanciful words. So he turned to one of his English-speaking friends and he said, "You know, the problem I have with English is that the meaning of the words so often is so vague-y." So the man said, "What do you say?" He said, "The meaning is very vague-y." He said, No, it's not vague-y, it's vague." He said, "There you go. Every time I want to use a new word, my tongue-y gets twisted out." When he says life has absolutely no meaning, it's like a twig, flowing on the sea of nothingness or something, you ask him if that definition is meaningful, if the statement is meaningful. You see, it is not possible to debunk meaning while making a meaningful statement about life itself.
Very well said.
I said to a student at the University of the Philippines in Manila, who stood up at the end of one of my talk and shouted out and said, everything in life is meaningless. I said, "You don't believe that?" He said, "I do." I said, "No, you don't." He said, "Yes, I do." I said, "You don't." He said, "Who are you to tell me I don't?" I said, "Stand up and say it again." He said, "Everything in life is meaningless." I said, "I assume that you assume that what you just said was meaningful. And if what you've just said was meaningful, then everything is not meaningless. On the other hand, if everything is meaningless, then what you've just said is meaningless too. You basically said nothing. You can sit down." To come out with a certain conclusion. Out of flux, nothing but flux. What you put into the computer, ultimately is going to come out. But you have to ask yourself, are you making a truth claim? If you are making a truth claim, you're rising above the bondage of total subjectivity. And the moment you claim a truth claim, you're violating determinism.